This is John with Central Classic Cars. As you can see, every week we normally do a couple cars and showcase them. Due to today's inclement weather, we're going to just show you a little bit of our inventory and kind of show you a little bit more of the shop rather than bringing a car out in this weather. We like to keep everything stored indoors and keep these cars at a really pristine level. So as you can see from the shop, we kind of specialize in vintage VWs. Karmann, Ghias, Bugs, and VW things. We do have a couple Porsches, 356s in here. That's kind of our mainstay of cars that we are experts in. We have a mechanic who's very well versed and can change anything whatsoever on this car that we need to. We have our own body shop that does some of the body work on these cars for us and make sure that any shoddy work that might have been done by a previous owner we take care of ahead of time and make sure that everything is structurally sound. So as you come into the shop, we'll take a quick look around at some of the other cars that we have in inventory here. This car we just got into inventory. It is a 1977 Super Beetle that has 23,000 original miles on it. We buy all of our cars from private individuals. This car was bought from a gentleman in Maryland. His father owned it since new, and we purchased it from him because he was moving out of state and was trying to sell the car. Absolutely spectacular car. You'll probably see this in a future video from us. As we continue to move forward, another car I'd like to show you is this car you actually saw in a previous video, and we just sold it to a gentleman from Atlanta who found one of our YouTube videos online. He loved the fact that it was modified and lowered, and just an absolutely spectacular car. We try to buy the gamut of cars. We try to buy cars that are all original, and then we also try to buy some things that have been modified with some larger engines. Many of these cars came with 1200 cc to 1600 cc motors in them, and a lot of times people want a little bit more power, so they'll put a dual carbureted motor in it so you can get it up to highway speed and cruise a little bit more. So we have quite a variety of different things. We don't just have all bone stock original, but we do have some because there are certain individuals that want things that are all original, and we have other individuals that would like some modern finishes on them. So as we continue on that idea, this is a 1960 Beetle that's obviously been modified. It's a fun look to it. It's a dual carbureted car. It drives wonderfully. It's very eclectic and has a unique look to it. As we continue to move back, you can kind of get a feel and look at some of these different things that people do to these cars. For example, the wheels on this car are actually Porsche Fuchs wheels, and they really, because of the relationship between Porsche and Volkswagen, they tie together so well and just take these cars to another level. Another question I get quite often about these cars is, John, can I get aftermarket parts for these? These are old cars, and I'm worried about whether or not I can get a new mirror or a new part for the engine. And the answer to that question is absolutely yes. These cars have such a great following that there are a number of different aftermarket manufacturers for quite literally any part of this car. I mean, you know, I'm talking about fenders, I'm talking about major structural pieces to the car. Many of these parts, as I mentioned previously, are just completely readily available and easy to get. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to recommend a couple places for you. I can tell you, based on the experience and the sheer number of cars we've had, I have yet to come across a situation where I couldn't find a part for one of these cars, generally. Certainly there may be something out there that we can't find, but overall, if something goes wrong, if and when something goes wrong on these cars, there are parts readily available for them. Now let's come take a quick look at some of the other inventory that we have. This is an absolutely wonderful 1964 Karmann Ghia coupe, completely frame-off restoration car, gorgeous paint, new interior. It's got a modified look to it, but it's absolutely wonderful. We got this one from California, from a private individual, and it's just an absolutely stunning car. We're really excited to showcase this car for everybody. So we kind of go from something like this to a car like this. This is a 74 that we bought from a private individual in West Virginia. This car, all original. I mean, down to the only thing that's aftermarket on the car is the shifter, which he replaced because he wanted to put an MP shifter in it, but it's a completely original color. Kind of a rare color, actually, from our point of view. We haven't seen many left in this color that are still in good condition, but just to give people, you know, everybody has different tastes and preferences. They want a modified car or an all original car. Here's two right next to each other. This car right here is actually a 1974 Karmann Ghia, and it's been modified majorly. I kind of call it the outlaw car. It has no bumpers. It's got a bigger exhaust on it. It has a really fun look to it. And we bought this from, actually this gentleman that we bought it from was a Volkswagen dealer out of Connecticut that we bought 3 cars from, and this was kind of a fun car, modified car that he did that he absolutely had a heck of a time, had a fun time, you know, restoring it, and it has a really fun look to it. As we kind of move around, we'll take a quick look at this green car. This is a wonderful 1972 Karmann Ghia convertible that we just got from Colorado. It's a brand new to our inventory. We're going to probably do a showcase on this car later, but we just wanted to show it to you. It's absolutely stunning. Brand new paint job, new interior, empty steering wheel. This is an absolutely gorgeous car, and we're really excited to showcase it for you. One of the other things I want to talk about related to our inventory and pricing is that we try to evaluate these cars on a number of aspects. We try to go through the condition of the structural integrity of the car, the paint, the motor, all those things, and we come up with a price point. We don't pull our prices out of thin air. There are cars that are very basic drivers, and then we have cars that are all the way up to close to concourse level restoration cars, and we try to have a gamut of things for various individuals with various different tastes and preferences. It's really something that we focus on and try to articulate to our customers as to why there's a $30,000 or $35,000 Beetle versus a $10,000 or $15,000 Beetle. There's cost of restoration is extremely high, and not only that, but just the market value of various different cars is very, very dependent in this business. So we try to always explain, and if there's ever a customer questioning why a car price is so drastically different, we have very detailed analysis as to why we come up with those numbers. So that's just a little bit more about us, and now I'd like to show you a couple more cars while we're in the shop here. Here's another wonderful car that we have. These are Volkswagen things. We actually have 5 or 6 in inventory right now, and they all have different styles and modifications and colors to them. They're a rugged little car. This car was actually purchased with another car from a private individual up in Michigan. Again, new top, new windows, new tires. It's ready to be driven. We have quite a few. They're fun little cars, and people love cruising around them. You don't see them very often, and there's definitely a heritage with them. So, really exciting little car. Onto the 356. This is actually a replica car, which I've shown in a previous video. Absolutely gorgeous car. We have another one that we also bought from Fresno, California. Just an iconic car. These are vintage speedsters produced. They are not originals. They are replica cars, but very, very tastefully done. As we move to some of our other inventory over here, this is a 77 red convertible. This car actually we've taken a deposit on it, and it is going down to Georgia, but it is an absolutely gorgeous paint job, new top. And again, some of these cars, I mean, the condition of the restoration is just so nice, and it's so hard to come by. As a buyer of these cars on a regular basis, we're running through everything. We're looking at pans, we're looking at the structural integrity of the heat channels, we're looking at the fenders, the interior, because when you're making a buying decision about these cars, a lot of people hide things about these cars, and it's very hard to make an educated decision. So we try to help guide the customer through that and explain fully transparently what they're getting with any individual car that they would buy from us. As we kind of finish up here, we'll guide you through and show you some of the other cars. One of the other cars in inventory that we have is certainly this beautiful red Speedster here. We've got quite a few Bugs and a couple Ghia convertibles right here. Some absolutely wonderful cars, some of which you've already seen in previous videos. But I just, this is kind of the gamut of what we do. We're really focused on vintage VWs. They have such a good history. So many people have memories with these cars, and it's just important to us to kind of keep that heritage alive and bring people cars that are ready to be driven and have some fun with. So that's Central Classic Cars. But this is a wonderful 1979 308 Ferrari that we just sold. Again, an absolutely spectacular car, kind of outside of our normal inventory, but every now and then we'll have a few other different types of vehicles that customers or people will ask us about that they want to either buy from us or sell to us. And certainly, as long as the condition and quality of the car are there, which this car absolutely is, that's part of our business. So as we kind of wrap up here, I just want to ask, if anybody has any questions about any of our inventory, I'll be glad. My name's John. I'll be glad to help you out with it. We're with Central Classic Cars. Check out our YouTube channel, Central Classic Cars, our Facebook page, and obviously subscribe, because we do weekly videos on all of our inventory. And check out our website, centralclassiccars.com. Thanks again for joining us today.